Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Mountain Man Monday. This is live stream episode number 36. Today is July 20th, 2020. I want to welcome everyone that joins me tonight on this live stream and anyone who's watching later on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel. As always, these live streams are archived under my live stream playlist, and you can check them out there, and the latest episodes are available from the main video tab on the channel. I hope everyone has had a great start to your week and had a good weekend, and we will give it a few minutes and let folks join in, and hopefully we'll have a great conversation tonight. And let's get to the comments and let folks start rolling in. Had a pretty interesting weekend, so it'll be fun to tell you all about that and some of the things that I did. And we'll get into the housekeeping and got some news, and we'll have a great discussion. So let's see who has joined us. We've got Tim Wheaton. Hey, Tim, how are you doing? I hope you've had a great start to your week and everything's going well. We are definitely in the thick of summer. It is hot and muggy even in the mountains. And so it's getting very, very warm. In fact, right now I'm sweating and I got the fan on, and it is it feels cool right now because of that, but it is hot. Susan Thompson, hello, good to see you again, and great to have you here on today's live stream. I hope you had a great Monday, great start to your week, and a nice weekend. And yes, it's starting out. You know, it's Monday, work, and getting the week started, but I can't complain. Things are going well, and had a pretty good weekend. How was your all weekend? Hopefully you guys had a good time and are staying safe, and everything's going well in your area of the woods. We've got Jean Marita. Hello and welcome to the live stream. Hope you're having a great Monday and a great start to your week. Everything is going well in wherever you are, and everyone who's joining here. And also I'd like to extend a warm welcome to anyone that's new to the Mr. Mountain Man channel and joining us on these Mountain Man Monday live streams. So yeah, in a few minutes I'll get talking to what I did this past weekend and what's happening right now. Been just enjoying the summer. It's been busy, between work and family and everything going on, but again, I can't complain. I just enjoying some of the summertime activities as best that we can right now. Let's see. We've got Foxy Wolf. Oh no, where's Marvin? He has to start the chat out. I know. Where's tradition, right? Marvin is usually first across the line, but Tim Wheaton beat him today. And Tim actually has been on the channel quite some time as well. And so it's usually one or a few people that are the first ones to enter into the live stream each week. So let me go ahead and try to get up my secondary chat going on here so that I can, let me see, I'm gonna make sure I don't get any feedback. Yep, there we go. All right. Oh, okay, we got some questions or some comments here. Let's see. And also hello to you, Foxy Wolf, and always great to have you and everyone here. Hey, Blondie's Adventures, great to have you here on this Monday. Blondie, I saw your message today about some contributions to your channel, and good luck, and glad to see your channel's growing. Also the live stream today as well. So everybody make sure to check out Blondie's Adventures, great channel over there with all the adventures that Blondie goes on, including Tennessee, East Tennessee, and other places as well. Susan Thompson has an update. Is now my husband out of the hospital? High blood pressure went in Saturday. He's home now and came home Monday. He was in the ICU. I'm so sorry to hear that, Susan. We'll definitely keep your husband in our thoughts and prayers. I hope that he's recovering and doing okay. And I'm sorry to hear that. But again, I do hope that your family and your husband begin to get on the up and up and feeling better. I hope actually everybody's doing well and feeling okay right now and staying safe. Hey, there's Marvin. Marvin, good to have you here. I don't know if you scrolled up in the comments. Yeah, I think I see it down here. It said, sorry, Foxy Wolf, I was late. Well, you're not super late. You're here in the first 5 minutes. So that's really cool of you. And also Blondie Adventures supporting the channel, and I really appreciate that, Blondie. If you all like it, and I hope we'll have a great conversation tonight, and some news to get into and some good conversation. And thank you, Blondie. I say every week, and I don't want to be remiss. I'm humbled by everybody who supports the channel, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. I'm here to help entertain you. I hope you're having a good time. Tim says it's too hot and humid for me. Yeah, I tolerate it because I love the mountains, but it's still hot. I'm needing to hit the rivers, fly fishing, maybe make it over to North Carolina. Yeah, there's some good places. Somebody was mentioning the other week, one of the places that I went by on the motorcycle in Pisgah National Forest has those low streams. You see some people fly fishing out there. And so there are some good places here. Again, fishing is not my forte. Maybe others can chime in about the great places to go. We also have the Traveling Hoosier along with Blondie's Adventures. Hello to both of you. I hope you're having a great start to your week and everything's going well in your neck of the woods up north there. And yes, prayers for Susan Thompson. Can't stay long, have to take care of the husband. Absolutely understand. Whatever you like, just take care, and we'll be thinking about you. We got Joy Bless Life. Hello to you as well. I always like to point out people that have really cool avatars. I like that one there. That's really cool. It looks like either the family or friends, and then it says Tennessee and the name Joy Bless Life with the flag in the background. That's really cool. It's one of the things I like about this program, because then I can see the avatars on everybody's just a little bit easier. Yeah, Marvin Carlton is usually number one. I started off the live stream today, and there was a little bit of a pause before people rolled in, probably when the announcement goes out. And I didn't see Marvin, but I'm glad you're here. And he's at home now doing better. Thanks. Excellent. Oh, yeah. And also, it looks like, hello, Angie, to you as well. Your leg's doing okay, just sort of a little tired. Angie gave an update last week that you also were going to be set back a little bit. I hope you're doing well. We're also keeping you in thoughts and prayers. Hope you're doing well and things are going well for you. And that everybody that's a little bit down right now might be on the up and up and feeling better. Hey, Rita, glad to have you here. I am doing well. It's always nice to have you here in the live stream. Another longtime supporter of the channel. Rita says, I got an update here. Mr. Mountain Man, he's doing better. Thanks at home. Coming in a little blurry tonight. All right. Coming in a little blurry. How are we doing? Give me another update on that. Let me know if it continues to be a problem. I believe I have everything on lockdown here at the house, going with my typical formula. I don't think I missed anything. Hopefully it clears up. We got Dale Bush here. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. It's great to have you here. Another regular. It's like all the regulars hanging out. It's really cool. Great to have all of you here. Let me get a little bit of water. So check this out. I just finished working out. All right, my exercise before this. And I drink a protein shake when I'm done working out. And the protein shake has milk and then some protein powder in it. I put a little scoop of peanut butter in there too. Okay, the milk that I got at Walmart a week ago. So what is that? Roughly like July. I think I got on like July 12th or 13th. And the expiration on it was July the 26th. Now that's normally super awesome to buy milk that expires that far out in the distance, right? Like, I mean, there's been times when I've been to the grocery where it expires in like 3 days. So I'm like, 2 weeks, this is awesome. And it was on sale, so I bought 2 of them. Well, anyway, I'm wondering if they stamped it wrong or something, because I was finishing up that milk in that protein shake just right before this. And I poured the rest of it in my shaker cup that you put the protein in. And I'm telling you what, that milk was disgusting. It smelled and it tastes like rotten milk. I mean, of course, it's been in the refrigerator and it's not supposed to expire for like another week. So I don't know why I was drinking that milk got so nasty and rank, but yet it's supposed to expire. I'm wondering, again, maybe it was too good to be true. Maybe they stamped the wrong expiration on there, and I still have another carton. So I don't know. It was kind of nasty. I'm sitting there drinking it, and I'm like, I don't want to make this shake again. So I'm going to go ahead and grin and bear it. And every taste, it's that nasty taste in the back of your throat, like the old milk. It was disgusting. But anyway, yeah, so there's a little goofy story about my adventures with the protein shake after working out today. All right, so with that, and we got all of our friendly folks here in, let's go ahead and move to housekeeping for the week of July 20th, 2020. We got 7/20/20, so that's the date today. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Anybody who's new, who might be listening now or later, the format of my live streams is the welcome, a little bit of housekeeping, which are like random just topics, and then I move into some news and notes for conversation for the week, along with always checking into the live stream and the chat. All right, so first up, what do we have here? We have, as always, the Instagram account for Mr. Mountain Man. All right, so I always share this and then kind of talk about some of the things that I had done in the past week and some of the pictures I've done and some of the things I've done. So let's start out here. These are the 6 pictures or posts in the last week. Let me just check here real quickly, make sure that we're all good on the comments here. I wanted to make sure because there was a report about being blurry. Yeah, Foxy Wolf needs smelling salts after that. I know, it was gross. The milk was nasty. Yeah, ick. And Dale Bush said, nothing much worse than bad milk. I was told once if it lightnings a lot, it can make milk go sour. Oh, has anybody else ever heard that? Traveling Hoosier says the video is getting blurry. All right, that means I'm coming off of this. And let's see if... sorry about that. Hopefully the audio is okay. I'll have to double check into that. I've had like 3 successful weeks. So please let me know how that's going. So let me do this. All right. So give me another report. A Traveling Hoosier said it's getting blurry, but I'm going to continue on with the housekeeping here. So for over here on Instagram, I want to start off in the bottom right here, which was this picture right here, which is difficult to see. The Mr. Mountain Man channel got to 500 subscribers on Saturday. This is a thank you to you all that got that to here. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's a round number, 500. I just think that's super awesome. The channel is roughly 1 year old. It's going to be 1 year old, I think, this Friday, if I looked at the date right, sometime around the end of July. And so 500 subscribers, I think that's pretty nifty. That's kind of cool. I really thank all of you, especially those regulars and the supporter of the channel that have been here and just enjoyed alongside with me the fun that we've had and the good conversations that we've had. So thank you to you all. That post was right here. It said Mr. Mountain Man 500 subscribers. I took a screenshot. So thank you again. I really do appreciate it to everybody. Yes, and thank you. We had let's see here. We had congratulations. Thank you so much. Susan Thompson, take care. Thank you for stopping by. I hope your husband's okay. Blondie says congratulations. I really appreciate it. Oh, and also hello to Kentucky Girl is here as well. And Angie, I hope your leg gets better. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that I make sure I say that I hope you're feeling better. Foxy Wolf put there Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Mountain_man. That is correct. Thank you so much. And so the next picture there in the middle, where I'm pointing in the background, was yesterday. Headed over to Gatlinburg. It was a last minute thing. So we live in Western North Carolina in Asheville, and so it only takes about an hour and 45 minutes or so. It was very last minute. It was in the afternoon. We didn't even decide to go until about 3 p.m. and we headed over there. And that's one of my favorite spots. It's on the Foothills Parkway. You've seen, if you're a follower of mine on the channel, you've seen me post pictures there. It's just such an absolutely beautiful overlook. That picture, if you're able to click on it, I'm not logged in. Oh, actually, I think I am logged in. Let's see. Can I click it? Oh, I can't click it. Okay. Yeah. So the background, there was some storms coming in. So it was just kind of a cool looking picture. And so that was a stop off the top of the Foothills Parkway. And I guess since I can click, here was the other one, Mr. Mountain Man, 500 subscribers. And that is a nice comment from this person right here. So I want to heart that. Yeah, so that was that one. That's the up on the Foothills Parkway. And then let's see here. The next one down here is the was driving into Gatlinburg. I was curious about the crowds because July is normally a very, very busy time. But this was misleading because it was kind of an anomaly. These are the streets heading right before you get to downtown Gatlinburg. It wasn't very busy, so we snapped a picture, and it didn't look too busy. But as we progressed into Gatlinburg, look at that. First of all, it rained. We only drove through Gatlinburg. We did not get out of the car. The reason we went over to Gatlinburg was we thought we might get our hand at going putt-putt. Because putt-putt offers the ability to social distance and be outdoors. We had planned on doing like a drive-through for food and just staying in the car. So again, you've heard me if you've been on my channel a while. We're very surgical and strategic about how we manage our activities during, the current events. But as you can see right there, it kind of got gridlocked. I don't have any pictures of downtown Gatlinburg, but it was busy. I'll talk a little bit more about that during the news and notes. I'm not going to click on this one. This is a video. I actually made a video because I didn't make a full video. I don't have a full video from the putt-putt. I might do one someday. It was a little bit crazy, having the kids there and whatnot. So I decided just to do Instagram quick video to socialize and keep connected with you all. So if you go to Instagram, you can click on this. It's like a 15-second video. It was just me saying hello. The last one this was pretty neat too. So we drove up Wiley Oakley Road up to Chalet Village. We stayed in a cabin up that way. This is in Gatlinburg 4 or 5 years ago, before the fires happened. And we on occasion go back up there just to see if they've rebuilt, because the cabin we stayed at was decimated. It had incredible views of Mount LeConte and unbelievable. I mean, we're not talking partial views. We're talking smack dab, straight across, unbelievable. It was a beautiful cabin. It burnt down, and we went up there and they hadn't rebuilt. But that area going up that road and coming down is well known for bears. And take a look at what we saw. We saw a mama, I'm assuming that was a mama bear, and several cub little bears. There were 3, I think, following. It was really cool. And so we were pretty happy that we got to see that. So I snapped some fun pictures. That's one of the advantages of living where we do, because we went over there and then we came home, and I think we got home at like 11:30 or 11:30 last night. So, I mean, how about that? We leave at 3 from where we live. We go over there. We drive through Gatlinburg. We go putt-putt. We go down, we go to eat. I mean, we got takeout food from McDonald's, and then drove home. So easy day, fun day, packed a lot in. That was pretty cool. So I always like to share a little bit of back information on the Instagram account, and some of the ways I try to stay connected in between the bigger content from my channel. Let's see if anybody, gotta run. Blondie's Adventure. Yes, take care, Blondie, and thanks for stopping by. Lily is also just stopping by to say, hey, sending a heart and be safe. Thank you, Lily. Appreciate that. Hope things are well up in your neck of the woods. Let's see here. Oh, Mr. Man, have a blessed night and congratulations. Oh, no, I wish I had 5,000. I got 500. Not quite that big. 500. 5,000 is another goal. But we'll get to that. We will get to that. Well, I don't know. Maybe someday we'll get to that. But thank you nonetheless, Blondie. Really appreciate you stopping by. Let's see. Want to make sure, did I miss anything? Boo. I'm trying to stay on topic these days to keep more of a cut. Let's see. Yes, Marvin says, I love Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge when it rains, particularly a big thunderstorm. Yeah, it was really pretty cool. And then when it subsided, it was sunny because it's a typical summer thunderstorm. And then the sky was absolutely incredible. It was all shades of purple and pink and orange as the sunset came. One of the things that was really advantageous for us was that the thunderstorm cleared people out. So when we went to putt-putt, there was nobody there. We were basically first in line. That also helped the ability to social distance and maintain distance. We didn't get any closer than at least 20 feet from anyone. So the storm helped in that. That would be cool to have a cabin in the Smokies during a thunderstorm with a tin roof, of course, so you can hear all the rain. Yes. Let's see. I can barely stand it. They are so cute. The bears were super fuzzy and super cute. It was really cool. It is always fun to see the bears. Let's see. The rain keeps it so beautiful and green. Yeah. Oh, yes, Marvin. Have you seen the video of the bear that opening the car doors? Yes, that is, kind of gone, I guess, viral or semi-viral in this community, and it's really cool. That is a fun one. Hey, Tim, thanks for stopping by. Got to get up at 4 a.m. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. I hope you have a restful night and great week. Thanks for being number one tonight, showing up here. It does smell good after a thunderstorm. Yes. So that was some really fun pictures there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those. The other thing was, as always, I just plug my other YouTube account for those that are interested, the Eclectic Handyman. It's kind of another up and coming channel. I've reached 121 subscribers. I kind of just post videos in a vacuum, but I do put a little bit more effort than I used to. As you can see, I put the title picks and stuff. I had a couple more come out. Not a whole lot of views, but these are very targeted. So if it's a how-to channel, mostly, and tool reviews and stuff like that. So anyway, youtube.com, the Eclectic Handyman, if anybody's interested on that one. That's the tool and fixer-upper Sunday mechanics side of the fence. All right. Cool. Did that go away? Let's see. Ta-da. Okay, good. Well, that will do it for the housekeeping. Oh, I had one more random note, something that I didn't get into the news. Random note. The Dollywood is now, you do not need to make reservations. So over in East Tennessee, for folks that go to Dollywood, you used to have to make a reservation, kind of like Disney made you. You could not show up that day and just buy a park ticket. You had to have a reservation. They have stopped the needing for the reservations at Dollywood. I don't think we're going to venture over to Dollywood this year. I've actually never been there before. This probably would have been the year we would have gone, but probably look for that in 2021, I would assume. And that's not a guarantee, but we'll see how it goes. But I think that's something to look forward to next year. So again, no reservations needed for Dollywood. All right, so that will do it for the housekeeping of the week of July 20th, 2020. We will roll immediately into news and notes for the week of July 20th, 2020. Let me go ahead and get this up and share my screen. Application, share, and present. All right, let's start off. So for those of you, hopefully you all can see that, and that has come up there. We have okay, so article number 1 is the slow death of the American all-you-can-eat buffet. So for those of you that know me, I love buffets. I was a big fan of Golden Corral. I don't care if it's a chain restaurant. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But the current events with the pandemic have really put a hurting on the restaurant industry, and in particular, the buffet industry. It's been really, really, tough because, as you can imagine, people walking around and touching the utensils and all that type of stuff, it makes it really challenging. One of the interesting things about it, though, was yesterday when we were driving through Pigeon Forge, one of the least occupied restaurants, and a lot of the restaurants were very, very busy, but when we drove by, one of the least occupied restaurants was Golden Corral. That was really unusual. Parking lot was practically empty, and yes, it was open. So that was a little twist of irony that, who knows? Okay, so let me let's see the highlights from this. This was an article from the BBC, and as it mentioned, buffets from the humblest hotel breakfast to the grandest casino banquets are struggling to stay afloat as new health restrictions come into place and wary diners eschew the self-service dining tradition. As many buffets go out of business across the U.S., others are innovating and trying desperately to keep the business model relevant and appetizing. One particular owner of Jack's Fresh in downtown Washington, D.C., told the BBC News that her average sales have dropped nearly 90% as they reopened 2 months ago following the closure. Another place, Jack's Fresh, which specializes in Asian food and American sandwiches, is currently making around $500 a day, down from an average of $3,500 before the pandemic. In March, the FDA, which regulates food safety for the federal government, recommended discontinuing self-service buffets and salad bars until the pandemic subsides. Officials said this was due to the communal serving utensils, which are frequently touched by multiple patrons who may be contagious, as well as the crowds that can form around some items. That was a real fancy way for saying the tongs and the spoons that we scoop the food out was being, could be the culprit in it being contaminated. Who was affected? U.S. buffet sales made about $5 billion in 2019, according to the NPD Group, a market research firm accounting for about 1% of the total restaurant business. But from salad bars to smorgasbords, buffets have many loyal followers, many of whom are elderly and thus more vulnerable to the virus. This was a sad one for me and for the family. When I told my kids this, they made a little scream type noise in disbelief. I guess that's the best way you can say it. The owners of Soup Plantation and Sweet Tomatoes, which specialized in healthy foods, announced in May that they were declaring bankruptcy and permanently closing 97 restaurants, leaving 4,400 employees out of work. So that picture right there, Sweet Tomatoes, you may not have them in your neck of the woods, or maybe you have seen them. There were a bunch of them in Florida where we used to live. It was a great option when we used to go to Disney World before we would go to the parks to really fill up, but it was a healthier buffet. It was all you could eat, but you would come in and it was like exquisite salads. You're not your normal salad bar. Like really, it wasn't expensive. I mean, it was only like $7 to $10 a person, but it was like really nice greens and vegetables and like, raisins and all kinds of fruits and nuts and all kinds of stuff you could put on. And then they had soups and like breads and fruits and ice cream bar. And so it was a buffet, but it was a lighter buffet. And so it was nice because I also like Golden Corral steak and all that stuff, but it was a lot nicer. So Sweet Tomatoes, when I told the family that, they were like, no, they really loved that place. We loved it. They always had coupons. The family used to be able to eat there for like 30 or 40 bucks. I think it was the family meal plan or whatever. Very reasonable. And it's really a shame. This pandemic, they didn't even try to struggle through bankruptcy. Like Chuck E. Cheese is in bankruptcy, but they're still trying to operate, or I think they're going to try to operate through bankruptcy. Sweet Tomatoes said they're done. That was really disappointing. The article continued, Las Vegas, where the modern American buffet first began almost 80 years ago, has taken a variety of actions to putting bibs around necks. The buffet at the Wynn Casino, which formerly featured 15 live cooking stations, was the first one on the Strip to reopen, with servers bringing food to the table for customers just like at a normal restaurant. So this is one way they're adapting. Another buffet, I can't even pronounce it, back channel buffet at Caesar's Palace, which serves over 3,000 people a day, is undergoing a $2.4 million renovation to make more room for social distancing. Other casinos around the country have permanently shut their buffets, opening full-service restaurants in their place. So this is really changing, how we're going to eat. If you didn't care for buffets, probably not a big deal. It just depends, when it is great for families because I don't know, I think some of you may have heard me talk about this before, but if we go out to a restaurant and a kid's meal is like $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, $8.99 and up, and the portions are unbelievably small. So if we've been running around all day and the kids are super hungry and they get like a chicken tender type basic meal at some restaurant and it comes out with 2 strips, maybe a couple pieces of French fry and a drink, they're still hungry. And it's like $8. That's expensive in my book for I'm not, for a kid who's built up an appetite. So going to a buffet, while not encouraging like getting sick and overeating, but it does offer the ability to, have a variety and we don't complain, that I don't like this or one person likes this and doesn't like that. So buffets are nice. It's just really tough to make that happen. A couple of comments here, and a couple of people rolled in. Smoky Mountain Hiker, hello to you. Hello to Hike with Mike. Hello to, I saw somebody else pop in here. I saw your name. Where are you? It was Ted and Deborah Harrison. I swear. There it is. Okay, I saw it. All right. Hike with Mike says, I wonder if Japanese steakhouses have been affected with the fresh cooking in a group sitting around. That absolutely, I would have to say yes. I'm just guessing. I'm sure we can find articles. The one advantage they have is the food is still prepared by one person and they could social distance around the table. Of course, that would make it more difficult to get the number of people in. But yeah, that would be more difficult. Somebody here said, never heard of sweet tomatoes. Yeah, so Foxy Wolf, they're not everywhere, but again, they were big in Florida, and I'm not sure where else they were. In North Carolina, I remember at one time there was a place in Charlotte called Super Salad. It was the same exact concept. Basically, and some people wouldn't like this, it wasn't necessarily that it was appeasing to vegetarians, because I am not, but it was very little meat. And the only reason was because that kept costs down. So it was like healthy, they still had baked potatoes and stuff. And they did have meat because they had chicken noodle soup and I think chili sometimes, but they kept the cost down that way. Again, it was just another alternative. Yeah, Dale, we missed sweet tomatoes. We really missed it. Mike with Mike says, I used to love sweet tomatoes, moved to the country. It was a 2-hour drive. Glad in a rural area, it's less traffic. Yeah. We have a buffet here that you have to wear a mask and gloves to serve yourself. That's interesting to know. My next article is going to get into a little bit of that as well. Let's see. I know there was another conversation about the bears. Yeah, when they're not following wildlife rules, that is a shame. I think that was on a cue of Smoky Mountain Hiker's video. Everybody check out Smoky Mountain Hiker. Great channel. Great channel. Let me hide that comment and move to the next one. All right, next, another similar article. All right, because I like Golden Corral, I have to talk about Golden Corral. Actually, Golden Corral opened back up here. There's one in the Asheville area. It opened up today, July the 20th. So this article was from Restaurant Business Online. Golden Corral starts reopening without the buffet. Look at that picture right there. That picture, if any of you all have been to Golden Corral, that is the buffet. So to me in that picture, I see the pucks on the ground, the stickers for the social distancing guidelines. We obviously see the ropes so that they kind of can direct the flow, which is probably not a bad idea anyway. If you've ever been to a place like this, constantly running into people, it's like everybody's going their own direction. So forget about the pandemic. That's probably not a bad idea anyway. The thing about it is that I don't know how they're going to, it's going to be difficult to enforce. I wonder if you'll be able to serve yourself. My guess is, let's read the article, or I'll read the article to you. Each Golden Corral is a little different because some are franchised and some are corporate owned, like a lot of businesses. So the corporate owned ones could be dictated by corporate, but the franchise, I believe, have a little flexibility. If anybody knows differently, let me know, but that's how I understand it to be, especially from this. From the article, no buffet rules aren't keeping Golden Corral from reopening its restaurants. The big buffet chain has been gradually reopening locations across the country with a different service model, typically a cafeteria-style strategy in which employees serve customers items that would have otherwise been in a buffet. So there's point one, how they're changing cafeteria style. Some locations, however, are shifting to a family style table service model. If you ever had been to like a Buca di Beppo back in the day, that was an Italian restaurant, family style eating, where it's all you can eat, but they bring you massive dishes of like several select items, and then you just eat off of that. So it's another variation on it, but you don't serve yourself. From the article, we have developed new service models to comply with variations in local and state guidelines that provide our guests with an enjoyable Golden Corral experience, the Raleigh, North Carolina business chain said in a statement emailed to restaurant businesses. The company said it expects to reopen its 100th location with a modified service model Saturday. This was a few days ago, so this was referring to that. Now the company is gradually reopening its restaurants without that buffet. In the cafeteria style model, stanchions are set up around the buffet areas, and now common floor markers tell customers where to stand as they line up for their food. Golden Corral staff then serve customers the food they request, eliminating the need for customers to touch utensils. In the family style model, servers bring customers an endless buffet of selected items to their tables. I wonder how that'll affect pricing. I wonder if it'll be the same when you can't get their array of items. In its statement, the company said it is enforcing rigorous cleaning standards for customers' touch points and is checking customers' temperatures and adding hand sanitizing stations. Tables are spaced to keep customers apart, and drinks are being delivered to tables. Golden Corral said its opening would be done on a location-by-location basis. Many locations in states such as North Carolina and Maryland are open on a takeout-only basis. Of those that are open for dine-in business, the vast majority favor cafeteria style over family style. That said, the buffet isn't completely dead. 15 locations have the old service model available now, according to the company's websites. Drum roll, please. 12 of them are in which state do you think is the one that has the traditional model? Florida. And why do I say it like that? Because everybody, if you've read the news recently, Florida has probably, I think, the number one outbreak of the pandemic right now. But listen, I would love to go back. I still have gift cards for Golden Corral, I think, to go over there. I would love to go back, but it's just not in the cards right now. Let's see here if anybody is. I didn't see any comments on this one, but yeah. So buffets. It's going to be interesting. Well, actually, there is a comment here. Jean Marie said, "Our Ponderosa closed today after 35 years. Probably the last one." That is so true. Ponderosa. I had one of those growing up when I grew up in Ohio, and then most of them went out of business. Then I saw one in Puerto Rico that had a buffet, and then the last one that I had seen was in Orlando, Florida, and I didn't go to it, but it was on iDrive, I believe. And so, this is really gonna, change, I think, that style of restaurant eating. So if you like that kind of eating, you will have to, we'll have to see how it goes. Might all end up turning like cafeteria. Maybe when the pandemic's done, it'll come back. I think the tongue-in-cheek part about all this is Golden Corral historically had some of the grossest bathrooms, I think, even though the buffet was pretty clean and they did a good job. So maybe that'll kind of nudge them to clean that part too, since they're going to have rigorous cleaning standards. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And hey, just want to say hey to Chad Lovelace and anybody else that joined in here, and hope you're having a great start to your week and had an excellent weekend. We're just in the news and notes right now. All right, so that's the update on the restaurants. Just another quick one. This wasn't a long article. This was a local article. The point of this story was this longtime Asheville restaurant closed one of its locations. It's called 828 Family Pizzeria. This was in South Asheville. Not that you guys would have known this or anything, but there's a bigger significance to this article, and it's kind of connected to the first two. Like, if you have a favorite restaurant locally, even if you're in a rural area, especially if you're in a rural area, because where there's a lot less people, or if you're in a populated area, I would consider supporting it through takeout food or delivery, because these places are starting to fold. Now, this one closed. There were 2 locations. It was a local pizzeria. 828 is the area code in Asheville. That's why it's called 828 Pizza. The article basically went on to say that they didn't directly relate it to the pandemic. They just wanted to consolidate to their other single location. They felt they were spread too thin. But let's be realistic. The pandemic probably was the thing that pushed them to do that kind of, thinking, and also not be in a position to be economically strapped, as, the model of indoor eating is really at a disadvantage right now. So the point of this article, and the reason I wanted to show it, is support your local restaurants, especially the ones you like. If you got that mom pa sandwich or Italian or pizza or whatever place, consider getting a takeout food as a treat on Friday or whatever you like to do to support them. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Let's see. There are a couple of comments here, and a couple that I know about. Kentucky Girl said, I used to work at a buffet called Ryan's. Kentucky Girl, we have a Ryan's still here in it's in Asheville, near the Outlet Mall, and the family loves it. We love Ryan's, and it stinks that it's closed. And there aren't many Ryan's. They're scattered throughout the United States, and there's very few, but we had one. And check it out. It was next to a Kmart that just closed a year ago. So we're talking really retro area. We love Ryan's, and the servers there were great. It's not the caliber of buffet that Golden Corral was, but we loved it. I really am concerned that they're done for, because they always were second fiddle to Golden Corral. They did a really good job. It was a bit cheaper, maybe by $1 or $2. They offered coupons. It was always good service. We enjoyed it. I wish they, I hope they reopen. I hope they do. I have a feeling though, they're going to be in trouble. Joy Bless Life said, I'm in Florida. News about the high outbreak is not correct. They counted the same number of people being tested each time as new cases. This mistake was breaking news out of Florida. There's a lot of debate on, playing with the numbers to be advantageous on either side that people think about this current events. It's unfortunately gotten politicized, and the 2 sides of the fence on the politics will use those numbers maybe to their advantage or not to swing political issues. I tend to be a numbers and scientific kind of person and look at them independently. The reality is that even if somebody throws at me a low death rate or percentage compared to the population or whatever, there's no way you can spin 100,000 deaths as being nothing. It's just a big deal. The virus is very aggressive. It does jump from person to person. So no matter how any outlet wants to spin it for their political advantage, either side of the fence, the reality is that cold, hard numbers, it doesn't matter number of cases or whatever. It's like there's more people that have died from this at the beginning of the year than the entire Vietnam War. That's significant. That's huge. Over 100,000 people. I believe it's over 130,000 at this point. And that's verifiable facts. That's not made up, because death records are public information, and death certificates and stuff like that. So, this is just a bad thing, no matter how you cut it. There may be people that are less susceptible or more susceptible, but I do, and I'm a healthy person, and I work out and I do all these things. So some might say on paper to stereotype me as being in the camp of I would throw caution to the wind, but I take it very seriously because of the potential that it has. But we still live life, but we do it very strategically. So I don't get too wrapped up in the 2 sides of the fence in the United States doing that with this, because I try to take the numbers independently, and because the numbers that, if you want to look at Johns Hopkins, or if you want to look at some of the different sites and not rely on certain news media outlets, it's definitely present, and it's definitely something that has to be reckoned with. The good news is that science is providing us a way to get through this. There are multiple vaccine companies that are in phase 2 and 3 of trials right now. And, there is hope. Of course, that can be spun a lot of ways too. And people could say, oh, vaccine's not going to be safe and this and that. But the reality is that modern science is allowing us to progress through this. So it's, I do yield to this. I think it's, and I think it's something pretty serious. So, I don't know, as far as Florida or other states, it's tough, because, I think the one good thing to do is to take information from a lot of different outlets and not just, not this comment right here from Joy Bless Life. I'm kind of going off on a larger topic, not specifically what Joy Bless Life is talking about here, but a bigger look at the overall issue. So moving back to the restaurant topic, Hike with Mike says Mellow Mushroom better not close. It better not. I think you're okay. Well, that's another chain. I think they'll be good because they're in downtown Asheville and that is a very popular location. My guess is they're getting a lot of DoorDash and delivery right now, so they're probably doing right. Kentucky Girl, I like Ryan's for breakfast because they had corned beef hash. That's a great breakfast item. And I think a few of the breakfast buffets have that. Years ago, there were some restaurants that had a Lazy Susan. All the food was on a turntable type. The deal was it was all you could eat. Right. That's like the family style, right, Rita? Like you had that Lazy Susan in the middle and you could get the food off of it. That's super cool. Ryan's I worked at was in Clarksville, Indiana. We have some other people from Indiana. Oh, it says Corridon, Indiana. Ryan's did have a good salad bar, but it closed there. Was the name of the restaurant Lazy Susan? Or did you mean the Lazy Susan on the table? If the name of it was that, you have to let me know. Joy Bless Life says more buffets might go to all you can eat family style. Aunt Granny's at Dollywood is doing this with servers. Yeah. The only disadvantage of the family style is that they have to reduce the amount of items, but most places do a really good job of it because like you can have a theme. Like, so say it's country or comfort food. You could have fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, macaroni and cheese, like Marma's Farmhouse or something like that. You could do it like that. One of the big days at Ryan's was all you could eat catfish. That's right. It's like a Friday. Big Daddy said we very rarely eat at chain restaurants. Love eating at local. Your local restaurants will really appreciate that, especially right now. We've definitely eaten at more local restaurants since this has began. I think that's excellent. Definitely excellent. I do seafood, but I do not eat freshwater fish. I do like rainbow trout. Rainbow trout is pretty good. That's a freshwater fish, right? And I guess I don't pay super much. I guess I've never really thought about the different type of fish, like taking like salmon versus tilapia versus trout versus whatever, catfish versus all the different kind of fish. Kentucky Girl says I love saltwater fish best. Georgia has outlawed mask mandates. Does that mean you cannot mandate a mask in Georgia, Foxy Wolf? Let me know if that's what that means. I haven't followed the news in Georgia specifically that much. I see where Disney says no eating or drinking while walking around the parks. That's interesting because having been a previous annual pass holder, Disney World, drinking, you need to drink water. You can get, the heat this time of the year is disgustingly hot down there and the humidity. And for certain people, maybe somebody who's a little bit older or maybe not in the best shape, you got to drink water. But I'm sure they've got that figured out. Disney's much smarter and thinking ahead on that. I guess I need more education on the fish I eat. I do not want kind of, Dale, I was in the same boat. If I stopped and think about it, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I never really thought about it. And I never really thought about the taste differentiation between it either. I don't like catfish, brim, mullet, and the likes. Love shellfish. We will eat mostly any type of fish. Okay, cool. The name was Lazy Susan. It was all you could eat. Okay, cool. Yeah, so lots of different. Yeah, fish is a good. But again, back to the article. The pizza places or pizza local places. Consider supporting them. Actually, what I've been reading a lot about, the last thing I'll say on this article is I've been watching some of the financial news. Domino's Pizza is putting, unfortunately, a lot of people out of business because of their model and their cheap and their app and all the things they offer. And then so you got these mom and pop pizza places that relied so much on indoor eating. Maybe they had a delivery model too, but so much indoor eating. Domino's is completely, in a lot of these chains, there is no dining area. Actually, Papa John's, some of the Pizza Huts still have indoor dining. Yeah, so and you know what? I'm guilty of that because we've been ordering Papa John's a lot recently. So I'm sitting here telling you that. I think the next time I order pizza, maybe I should call one of these places. Oh, there was one more comment. Oh, Georgia. Oh, about Georgia. You cannot mandate masks in Georgia. Private businesses can mandate it for their business. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I just don't. Yeah, it's just tough when these things get politicized at the expense of people's well-being and safety. That's the only thing. We could open up a lot more businesses if the distancing and some of these things were put into place. Smoky Mountain Hiker says, yeah, you cannot while you walk to keep people from not wearing the mask by just carrying food and drink in their hand. Okay. Disney rules about eating and drinking while walking around is because they don't want people walking around without a face covering. I gotcha. They're doing it really strict because I didn't have the articles up last week, but as Disney World was reopening, Disney Hong Kong has closed again. A little bit of a boomerang effect. So, yeah. Oh, Kentucky Girl said, are you going to give us your list of favorite fish? Well, I don't even know if I've ever stopped and thought about it. If I did say fresh fish, I always have loved rainbow trout. My one pickle about rainbow trout is I can never get enough of it. It's expensive. If I go out to a restaurant and get rainbow trout, from the Cracker Barrel to a one-off restaurant, it could be anywhere from $10 to $18, and you get like one fillet or two. I can eat like 5 of those things. So yeah. I also like salmon. I have had swordfish with béarnaise sauce on it. That's very good. Yeah, so there's a few of the fishes I like. Disney says to drink water, you must be 6 feet from anyone before you take down your mask. Okay. Well, and again, they do not want to close. They're a public company with their stock offerings. So if they have to close again, they're gonna get it hit. So all right, let me move on to the next article. So this one I'm going to connect to my experience from yesterday. Sevier County named a red zone community in a leaked White House coronavirus report. For those of you that don't know, Sevier County is where I was yesterday. So that's basically Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. The long and the short of this article was that the White House task force was recommending Tennessee and local red zones like Sevier County, where virus cases are surging, to implement stricter restrictions such as closing bars, reduce indoor dining, and limit gatherings to 10. Sevier County, the wildly popular tourism destination. By the way, this was from the Knoxville News. In Great Smoky Mountains, it includes destinations like Dollywood, was listed among Tennessee's top 6 problem areas. Tennessee itself is named among 18 states that have more than 100 new cases per 100,000 residents. Sevier County, including Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, earlier this month adopted a mask mandate for indoor public areas. The county saw a jump in cases in early July. Thursday's case count was 1,010 with 318 active cases and 4 deaths. The report was about mitigating it. Much of it was focused on testing and closing certain places and limiting gatherings. So listen, I wanted to give you a report about yesterday about being in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. So again, to recap my trip, because we were there, we drove in the car, we went down the main parkway and came back up River Road. So we stayed in the car. And so we got to enjoy Gatlinburg, but from the car, and we got to, sightsee and see everybody walking around. Let me start with that. The mask usage, listen, I'm reporting the news at this point. And yes, I do have an opinion on the subject. I do like the wearing of masks. I I wear one myself anytime I'm indoors, and anytime that we're outdoors in any real proximity to people, that would be a problem. But I have not been in any situations outdoors yet where I've been in a cluster of people, because we just haven't subjected ourselves to it. But anytime I'm indoors, I always wear a mask. I have a whole bunch of cool ones. I've got like a navy camo one. I've got a black one. I got a couple of different cool ones that I like to wear. So they look cool too. But we're going down the Parkway. The mask usage in Gatlinburg, by my estimation, was probably 10 to 15% of people. The indoor part of it, to me, was a joke. We were creeping along in traffic. I looked in at the winery on the right-hand side as you're heading towards the national park. The two individuals working at the winery were like a foot apart. They didn't have masks on. There were 3 or 4 people where you can do the testing of the wine, a foot apart. They didn't have any masks on. Really, and this is kind of a known thing, because if you look on Facebook and other reports and stuff, the point of this is that that is definitely not a part of the culture of Gatlinburg right now, of wearing masks. It just is not a thing. It's not popular. People aren't doing it. So if that's something that is of concern, that's the report. It's just not happening. It seems like Gatlinburg must be in a bubble, and it's just not a part of the pandemic, apparently. And I say that tongue in cheek, but it's unfortunate. I just hope that, it doesn't become a problem. The problem with that is that you can't really tell if it's a problem, because nobody's going to know. They might go on vacation for a couple of days and go home and then end up getting sick. And ultimately, not every sickness leads to something critical. But it's still not fun. And what if, it gets spread to a loved one that's elderly, or a mom or a dad or something like that? But it's really difficult, because Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge are very transient. The number of people who actually live there is very low compared to how many people are visiting. So we went through Gatlinburg, enjoyed it from the car. We love Gatlinburg. We love East Tennessee. It's so near and dear to our heart. But this year it's challenging. We have no interest in walking around Gatlinburg right now, just because of the reaction folks are having to this. It's very much it's just nobody's doing anything. There's no social distancing at all, almost none. And everybody's walking around without a mask. When we went to Pigeon Forge, there were a few places that I would give it a D- or an F rating. We went by a place called Tracks for Kids. It's an outdoor go-kart place. The line there looked like something out of Disney World from 5 years ago when I went there. There must have been 100 people in line, 6 inches apart. I didn't see anybody with masks. There was definitely no spacing in the line queue. It was like business as usual. That's kids, that's families, that's adults. That's rough. The restaurants were packed. The Local Goat was packed. The Tracks was packed. Many of the restaurants. I think the sad thing is that a lot of people probably had vacations planned. Most of us that go on vacation plan 6 months or a year out. And it's so hard to cancel a vacation if it's not forced upon you. So if you already had that hotel reservation or that trip planned and you go, you're not going to just sit in some little hotel room and do nothing. You're going to, you want to enjoy. So I get the psychology behind it, because it's like, hey, we planned this last November to go for a week and go to the go-karts and the dinner shows and shop, and I'm not going to let life slow me down. But it's risky, in my opinion. And no, I'm not a qualified expert, but just on absorbing facts and science, I don't think it's a good idea. It's not something I would do with my family. When we went to Putt Putt yesterday, had we gone and it was jam-packed, we would have not gone. But because there was a lightning storm right before, like I had mentioned earlier, and we got out and got in line, we were the first people in line. We had nobody. Nobody came up to us at our hole, the hole where you play golf. They always stayed a hole behind. So again, we were probably never 20, maybe 30 feet to people. And even when we went through the little corridor where we scanned our annual passes, I told the family, masks on. Masks on, because we were in a little bit of an area. We put our masks on. I got to give 2 thumbs up to the people at Ripley's because they had masks on as workers there. I really appreciate that. We did our thing. We social distanced in there. We had our mask on. We got out, and then we were away from people. And that was the only thing we did, and it was outside. So we tried to be, very smart about it. But it is kind of crazy to see what's happening. Again, I'm not saying doom and gloom and the whole thing is some level 10 criticality, but there is definitely a Russian roulette kind of, risk, it feels like, to this. It's wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. If nobody's sick around, then nobody's going to get sick. And I'll tell you how this is going to all end in the end is all the people who didn't get sick that were naysayers are going to see, I told you, nothing happened. But there's also some people I've heard that have been naysayers who have gotten sick. That must be a tough pill to swallow. That's why I don't take it lightly either, because, these people, nothing's happening, and then they get sick, and it's really unfortunate. Anyway, I don't like to, be so, downer on this stuff, but it's tough. So what we'll continue to do is I think you'll see us entertain maybe going to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park via the car and being outdoors where we can be many, many feet away from people. Motorcycle rides, you've seen Smoky Mountain Hiker go on ones. I've gone on ones. It's an excellent way to get out. You're not near anybody. Putt-putt, I think, is a manageable activity. Unfortunately, we really want to use our passes to go to like the aquarium and the new place at Ripley's and all that. But again, those are indoor, and we're a little more hesitant about that for right now. We might just wait it out. Things to look forward to in 2021. So we'll see how that goes. Let me see if there were any comments on this. Sorry, I'm just looking for the one. Rita said, the thing about the tourist house is hard to keep the amount of, and then it got cut off. Foxy Wolf says, Lowndes County, Georgia, next to me is listed just like Sevier County. Marvin said, from what I have seen in the current videos of Sevier County, people need to wear masks and social distance better. They aren't doing either. There's my news report, Marvin. That's spot on. It's just not. And there's a lot of people in and out that are visiting. So these are the things why I stay home. Let's see. No way to social distance in Gatlinburg. It's so small. When I went, I walked up River Road to Anakees to keep away from the masks on the strip. And of course I wore a mask. Yeah. So Smoky Mountain Hiker again has a plan kind of like I talked about, which is how do you be strategic and surgical about your movements or your path or what you're doing. So River Road, for those of you that don't know, runs parallel to the main strip. And it's much less occupied. It's a lot easier to walk on those sidewalks and get away. And then, of course, if you're going to a place like Anakees, you're going up the chairlift. So there you've got social distancing. And then when you get up to the top, you're outdoors and you can manage your distance. So again, that's an excellent way to manage being able to still get involved, but not, have to put one at risk. The difficult things right now are like, if you wanted to go get one of those $15 Gatlinburg sweaters or something in one of the shops downtown, or go to the chocolate places, or to Ripley's, believe it or not, or to a restaurant, those are the kinds of places. It's just, that's all out the door. So good job. Yeah. On that, Smoky Mountain Hiker, and great suggestions, by the way. When East Tennessee first opened, I was afraid this would happen. Yeah. And it looks like it is. I saw another few reports on Facebook that were very similar to this. And I listen, I really mean this, by the way. I'm really sad to see that it's caused such strife between people. Because there are people, there might be some of you right now, and by the way, I'm thumbs up on this, by the way, that disagree with everything I'm saying. I am so thumbs up on that. I'm okay about that. I've said before, this channel, I welcome everyone and everyone's views and diversity and everybody's background. I love it. So if you disagree with me, that's 100% okay. I just feel really sad about the division that this has caused between people, because it's a serious nature, like people getting sick or worse. And you don't, we just care for our fellow man. We don't want anybody to be hurt. I mean, unless you're, most people don't want people to be hurt or sad or sick or anything. So, I think in general, the people that are trying to be safe, I feel bad that though that group is is having people getting mad at them because really we're just trying. It's an interest of protecting and helping people. I think the argument to that might be like people are saying, well, with all that protection comes a risk to businesses. But I read an article last week or 2 weeks ago from a Vanderbilt doctor that said if everybody would just social distance and wear masks, we could reopen everything and we could go about business as usual and start making companies money and doing all this. He wasn't a professor in economics, but as far as epidemiology and the science and all of that, that's very telling when somebody of that credentials says, if we, from the biology standpoint, if we would follow these methods, then that should lead to reopening the economy. So that's the only thing. I'm just really sad that it causes division of people. I wish we could unite on this instead of be divided. It's really sad. Shaking my head. I'm sure many of them think I'm just there for a few days, so I'm safe, and little do they understand. I'm sorry I missed the beginning comment. I don't know the context on that. I even wear plastic gloves when I'm out. I'm a nerd for sure. Kentucky girl, that's not a nerd. I will admit, I did wear blue 5 mil nitrite gloves. At first, I did stop wearing those once more knowledge about it came out, about the information and the science behind some of it. I'm just extremely disciplined in not touching my face or anything until whatever location I'm at, I can get, to hand sanitizer or home and scrub for, 20, 30 seconds. But I don't think that's a nerd at all. I think that's just being safe. And I doesn't bother me. I think that's just being safe. My grandson and I rode through town on Saturday and everyone was wearing masks except a few people riding on the drink wagons. The wagons where a driver drives around the tourists while they drink. Yeah. Rita, what town was that? That wasn't Gatlinburg, was it? Or where was that? Because yesterday in Gatlinburg, there was nobody really wearing masks. So but give us a report on what town, or maybe it was just a different time on that. My nephew made a good point. He said people, while they are drinking, often do not use good common sense. Well, that's true. That definitely, alcohol kills it. You let your guard down a little bit. I think that's natural. That does happen. I'm actually so used to wearing a mask, no big deal, and I'm starting to like wearing it. That's scary. Isn't that the truth? Like if you think about it, if any one of us had gone to Walmart like a year ago and seen somebody with a mask, you'd be like, whoa, look at that weirdo. But now it's like, they're stylish and you can get cool designs. And I saw something cool today. This was not scientific, but they said the testament of a good mask is if you put your mask on, light a lighter in front of it. If you can blow out the flame, then the mask isn't good. But if you can't blow out the flame, then the mask is good, because that's showing it's not the transfer of air. Because remember, wearing the mask is about protecting others a lot. So if somebody is sick or asymptomatic and they sneeze, they're sneezing into a mask, and that droplets aren't going all over their neighbors shopping for yogurt at Walmart or whatever. My nephew said they don't make good decisions about social distancing. Yeah, Joy Bless Life. We've seen a lot of reports on TV about parties and colleges and stuff like that, where forget about it. You think it's a page out of 2018 or something like that. Like nothing has happened. Foxy Wolf taking a break to say, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And again, I'm going to shout out to everybody who may have missed. The channel hit 500 subscribers this past weekend. I thank you so much. I am humbled by that. I really appreciate it. And thank you. And just having a good time. I hope you all enjoy this. I really do. I spend most of my time in the swamp. It's easier to social distance from other people. Absolutely. I think this is one of the advantages of being in a rural area right now. It is true that the case count and the numbers and the spread is less. In fact, if you look at a heat map of the United States, if you look at where it's like almost non-existent, it's like Montana, parts of like West, South Dakota, North Dakota, like real rural areas, there's like very few cases. I feel a lot better wearing those when I get in the car and take them off, know my hands are free and clean. Yes, about the gloves. Yeah, except for when you're out there with Bigfoot, says Joy Bless Life, about Mike being out there in the swamp. Yeah, we got that smaller version known as the skunk ape down there in Florida. Mr. Mountain Man, is so sad the country's divided. We're all Americans. That I give that one the comment of the day right there. I agree with you, Kentucky girl. This is the world we live in, with 24-hour news outlets that help divide the country, and the propaganda that comes from it. I think independent thinking and processing and logic evaluation, because I'd say of those Americans that you're talking about, of us, are smart people in our own right, all of us, and just making good, sound decisions, I think is important, and not letting others fill our heads with how we're supposed to think on anything. I think it's good. Yeah, it's so very sad how people can be. Americans by nature are an independent nature. We don't like anyone telling us what to do or not to do. Ted Deborah Harrison, this is spot on as well. This was mentioned on the news today. There are some very, very large countries by population. And the ones mentioned were Vietnam, Taiwan. There were a couple others that are having almost no problem with the pandemic. But that's because the comment was, that some Americans are taking the live free or die to the extreme in this case, because they would rather live free and die than, maybe have to relinquish some of those liberties in the way of wearing a cool mask that has your favorite football team on it. It is a shame. It is a shame that has happened. Oh, and Nashville. Rita said it was Nashville. Sorry, I gotta get water. Nashville. I like that. The comments again from Kentucky Girl and Ted and Deborah Harrison. Worked in a prison full of people with that mentality. The independent. Yeah, right. I'm okay with people who wear masks and people who don't. I'm into freedom for each person. Do what makes them feel comfortable. Not everyone can wear masks. Some have breathing issues. Yeah. So I think in that, that very niche group, there is a reality that there are certain people that cannot wear a mask. I do think for those people that they need to, self-discipline to not get others sick, because of the nature of this crappy thing, that people can be asymptomatic for like up to 2 weeks. If you're in that group that can't wear a mask, I think self-discipline out of respect for your, fellow Americans and neighbors and people would be to say, well, since I can't wear a mask, I need to be very, selective about how I operate in society, because, without a mask. But I don't like this. The big issue is we don't want people getting sick and hurt. That's the big issue. And I just don't like that it's been taken below that level as don't tell me what to do. But the bigger umbrella picture is we just want people to be safe and healthy and get through this darn thing. I don't want to, like, if any one of you came on here and said that you had that, I would be so sad. That would be like, dang it, that stinks. I hope nobody gets it. My buddy Campfire Steve is working on a documentary searching for Skunk Ape Swamp. Oh, cool. I think in general we have a very spoiled country. Now some people are being like spoiled brats, not just the masturbate, but everything, in my opinion. It is. We are a country divided, and it's tough. And this, it's just making it really challenging. Again, the bigger picture is to just want everybody to be safe and healthy. Is that a bad thing? Like, wouldn't you guys think I was weird if I came on here and was like, oh, I hope people, no, I want people to be healthy and safe. Whatever that takes. It's like seatbelts. It is the law in most states. I think all states now you have to wear your seatbelt. And I also think it was appropriate when they made a law that said you can't text while you drive. Why, especially that one? Do you know how much it aggravates me when I see somebody going down a 2-lane road the opposite direction with their cell phone going like this? Why does that aggravate me? That aggravates me because if that person, because of their personal liberty choice to play with their cell phone while they're going 55 in the other direction, swerves across the yellow line, that's a problem for me. And so I have no problem with the law stating that's unsafe. Don't play with your cell phone when you're in the car. Or, seatbelts. Make people wear seatbelts, because if you're driving a neighbor around, or a friend, you're liable for them, and they need to, they're in your car, they need to be protected. So everybody needs to wear seatbelts. So anytime, something can impact somebody else, which is the case now, because somebody goes out in public and starts sneezing or coughing or doesn't know it and infects a bunch of people because they want to have their fun time. It's a tightrope to walk, in my opinion. Let me go to the next story, and so we can finish these up a little here. Here's definitely one on the lighter side of things here. I'm not going to go through the whole article. The thing about this was cool. Is this was from the Smoky Mountain News. Public comment open for Smoky Mountain bike plan. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. I got to cover up that comment. Hold on. Sorry about that. Public comment open for Smoky Mountain bike plan. The long and the short of it is a proposed mountain biking trail system for the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is now open for public comment, with virtual meetings planned for next week. The trail would be installed on the unfinished section of the Foothills Parkway corridor in Wears Valley, Tennessee. If approved, it'd be the first area in the park boundaries to allow mountain biking. And then they're allowing it open for public comment. I didn't put that on there for the public comment part. What I put that on there was for isn't that cool? Like, I'm not into mountain biking, but I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know if that was a stock photo picture in the article, but that, if they have the wood and the bridges and then maybe a little off-road. Again, like I said, I've not gotten into fishing. I've not gotten into mountain biking, but that could be a really fun activity. Mountain biking seems like something cool to get into. Second to last, upcoming events in Asheville. So there is a site, exploreasheville.com/event calendar. Really, if you just go to exploreasheville.com, if you happen to be in Western North Carolina, normally it is absolutely jam-packed with events happening. This was a particular one. They have a restaurant and music hall. I don't know if that's outdoor. Yeah, it's Concert on the Lawn, featuring this band here, Country Poor, High Energy. It said Country Honky Tonk. I'm not going to this concert. I just wanted to give a screenshot of things to do. Again, being strategic about outdoor events, and maybe, if it was a big grassy knoll where people could be, 15 feet apart or 10 feet apart or whatever, and enjoy some outdoor music or whatever like that. But anyway, this site, exploreasheville.com, and again, these live streams are archived, so people who are listening in the future, after all this stuff is said and done, and we're back to, hopefully back to normal, hopefully you guys can, bookmark some of this information. So if you're coming to Western North Carolina and looking for things to do, this is a great avenue, exploreasheville.com, to look at upcoming events in the Asheville area. And finally, what is the weather of the week in the mountains? A lot of times people are saying, hey, what's the weather like? Well, I'll tell you this much. It's pretty much muggy and humid these days. We're not cracking high 90s or hundreds, but if look at the percent chance of rain every day, 60, 70, 70, 50, 40, 50, 40. Every day it's either rain or thunderstorms. It's muggy. It's high 80s, low 90s. The mountains aren't given much of a break. We're in mid-July. It'll probably be like this for another month or two. But everything's green, and the mountains look real nice right now, real beautiful. So if you can catch them on a sunny day and you get out on the parkway, there's a sight to see, let me tell you what. So that is the news and notes for the week of July 20th, 2020. Let me get back to the comments and see where everybody was at. I did see a comment from Hike with Mike. Being funny, my wife puts on a mask for a bit before going to sleep. Does that protect her from the virus? I don't know if that's one of those sleep apnea masks. Hopefully, if it's maybe for snoring or something like that. But yeah. So let's see. In some ways, the mask issue has divided people even more instead of the country coming together to get through this pandemic. It's sad to see. I agree. I'm with you, Chad, and everybody else. And even for the folks, again, that are on this, that are maybe quietly disagreeing with me or have disagreed, and that's okay. I get it. I think the consensus is from a lot of us is it's just really the well-being of people, not the relinquishing of personal liberties. It's just wear your seatbelt, don't text when you're driving, don't do illegal stuff. And also we're going through this crazy, weird pandemic that most of us have never even been through anything close to it. Please protect your neighbor and let's stop the spread of it, kind of thing. I don't think anybody wants to make somebody mad. Yeah, drinking and driving. I don't know why I didn't think of that one, right? Same exact thing. Like somebody, if you were to make an analogy of that, somebody, be in support of it and be like, you can't tell me what to do. No, it's dangerous and you can hurt somebody. So absolutely another spot on analogy. I think I was drawing a blank. That's exactly another one. The mask I bought at Aldi's is easier for me to breathe with. You know what? Rita makes a good point too. I've got different masks, some that I like the way they look better, that fit tight, but they don't breathe that well. The one that has like the little bit of a pouch on the front that kind of sits out, I think is a little easier to breathe. And honestly, the ones that I think are the most comfortable are those blue ones that I don't like. They're actually real soft and they're nice. I just don't like the way they look. I feel like I'm going into the operating room or a doctor's office or something like that. Yeah. It's after 10, after run. It's fun talking to Mr. Mountain Man and everyone. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up in a few minutes. Just had a good conversation. I've enjoyed everybody's comments tonight. I love these temps, but not the humidity. Good for a completion, though, as opposed to the dry here. Right. And we're just in the thick of it. It's just going to be like this for another month or so. If Smokies were a mountain lion territory, the biking pass would be dangerous. Cougars chase people on bikes. It's high prey drive to chase fast prey moving away. That's interesting. You know what? My wife told me that there were reports of a mountain lion in Cades Cove as somebody took a picture. I don't know if I missed the comments and you guys were talking about that, but you'll have to let me know. And I didn't know that about the mountain biking. Again, that's not really one of my avid hobbies. I did enjoy bikes back in the day, but I haven't been on one in a while. So you have to let me know. I got the promo copy of an album that my music will appear on. It sounds fantastic. Well, congratulations, Marvin. That's fantastic. That's super cool. Marvin is one of the musicians in the community, and I think that's fantastic. We haven't talked about that in a while. That's really cool. Let's see. Oh, it's released on August 28th on Nirvana Records. Okay. That is really nice. You will have to socialize that with everyone. Definitely. Here's a good question. When you go on your motorcycle, is your family falling behind or is it just a day out for you? So I have thought about many a times because it's hard to take time away from the family because of how busy work is and, leaving everything on my wife. So the last couple motorcycle rides were by myself. I tried to get everything lined up to be responsible, make sure everything was as good in shape as it could be at home. One was for Father's Day weekend. The other one was on July 4th. That July 4th ride was not that long. I was probably only gone for 2 hours. But there have been times, Rita, I've thought about that. I'm like, I want to go to Mount Mitchell, but I want to ride the bike, but I don't want to be gone from the family. What if I ride my motorcycle and they follow behind me, in the van? But I haven't done that yet, but it has crossed my mind. So that is an interesting suggestion. I might have to do that. We also just finished the second of 3 sessions on another album featuring my music. That's really cool. Yeah, you'll have to, again, keep us posted on that, Marvin, as that goes. Definitely a congrats on that. Smoky Mountain Hiker says, I think the bike trail will be good myself. Yeah, I don't know, again, about what was talked about the animals and, maybe is that a distraction for them? But it sounds like it's going to be built unless there's some controversy to it that I'm unaware about. That's what the open meeting was, but that sounds really cool. Anything that gets people out in nature is really nice. It's been raining a lot more down here this year. Seems to be cloudy or raining a lot more. Maybe it's just from the videos I've been seeing. Yeah. Last year we had a little bit of a drought in May, and then we got back into normal rain. I do like when it rains from time to time because it keeps the grass watered and the plants, and I don't have to spend so much time with that. It's definitely the rainy season, it feels like. It says video is better. How bad was the video? I hope it wasn't terrible tonight. we've had some good conversations. I hope I didn't look like a pixelated robot. It's really a shame. I'll have to find out what the culprit was. I'm sorry about that. I've been on a roll. We've had like 3 excellent weeks in a row. So I'm not sure what leaked out tonight, but I'll have to figure that out. What, did Big Daddy pop in here? Yeah, or I don't know if you just popped in or not, but I think it's about time to wrap it up. Oh, the video was all good here. Okay, good. Yeah, so anyway, it's been a great week. I did enjoy that time in Gatlinburg. Check out Instagram if you want to see that, the pictures that I showed today, and keep in touch with me. Again, if you already have a Facebook account, you have an Instagram account, because Facebook owns Instagram, so you can just log in. Or you can just go to the site and see the pictures. I can't remember if you can click on them or not. But anyway, I'm hoping to get out some and get out some new videos on this channel as well. I did have some new ones over on Eclectic Candyman. I appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate your comments. I really enjoyed the conversation tonight. You all are fantastic. Thanks again for the support on the channel at 500 subscribers. I just think that's super awesome. I'm in awe about that. I really, really think you guys are a great group, and I look forward to Monday hanging out with you. So once again, good night to everyone. I hope you have a tremendous and safe week. Be safe, enjoy the mountains or wherever you are, and we will see you on the next Mountain Man Monday. Good night, everyone, and take care.